Welcome back to SwitchCorner. Today we're taking a look at Disc Room on the Nintendo Switch. This one, it's coming from the mighty Devolver Digital, and if I can rely on any publisher to give me something unique, it is them. So have they delivered another must-add for your library, or is this that rare case of a miss? Well, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here, join our growing family, and let's get started. So in the year 2089, a giant disk is discovered floating in the orbit of Jupiter. A crew of international scientists are sent to investigate, and that's where you come in. You are one of these scientists in what appears to be a floating death trap. That's really it for story. There's a few cutscenes to push things forward a bit, but it's just trying to honestly add like a little bit of context for where you are, and that is... yeah, that's it. Never expected to come to this one for story, honestly, and I was right. It's not a bad thing, it just should be known. So gameplay on this is what you're coming here for, and I'll put it out there now. This is pretty incredible stuff. It's a prime example of it looks so easy, but there's so much going on under the hood that it really kind of surprised me. Starting simple at a core level, the game really comes down to, enter a single screen room and fight these blades of death that are flying all over the place. Complete the objectives then on the left hand side of the screen, and you'll unlock an adjacent room signified by the arrow next to that objective itself. So that opening, you run around, you're dodging with all your might, and you'll feel pretty good about things. It wasn't too bad. Well, I'm going to stop you there and say this. Give it a couple of levels and this one will absolutely be kicking your ass. This team, they previously made the exceptional Minute for the Nintendo Switch, and it seems they have an eye for simplistic with hidden depth. From here though, not only do these rooms become more complex, but these saws become seriously more lethal, from their size to the pattern they take to its just general abilities. But then the game introduces power-ups that you'll unlock that you can use, like the ability to slow down time, and then these rooms finally will evolve into almost puzzles. These puzzles, they require some serious brain power, and the game advises you at the very beginning, think outside the box, and that couldn't be more true. Even the timer, it becomes a puzzle in itself, as it's not always counting down. You need to figure out what kicks it into action. What do you need to do? So for an example, there's an early boss. You will need to pick up bombs that are dropped around the stage. Each one you pick up takes a second off the timer. I thought this was just running around and that was about it, and I couldn't have been more wrong. Now I want to stop there, no spoilers. This needs to be experienced. You need to feel that brain power flowing, but I promise you, this thing, your brain will probably be hurting by the end too. So when it comes to longevity, then the game will for sure keep you busy for some time, or you can unlock a lot quickly. Of the close to 50 rooms on offer, you will be backtracking and restarting after countless deaths. This, as I've said, is very difficult, but I do want to add here, it's got some of the best accommodation settings I've ever seen. Not up to the challenge, you want something a bit more simplistic, jump into the menu and just unlock all the rooms, unlock all the story elements, slow down the gameplay, change the goals, slow down just the disc speed itself. They want it to be challenging, but they also want it to be accessible to any skill level, and I think a lot of people are going to find enjoyment in that, having the option to tailor it to their own ability. That said, let's say you want something even harder, they've got you covered too. If you want the hardest of the hardest, there's a speedrun timer that you can add over the top. There's a number of challenges you can face, like never die in a single run, or how about beat the game in under 15 minutes. That last one scares the crap out of me. That is not an easy feat. Problems, I have just two. Occasionally I found my extremely nimble character would get stuck very slightly for a split second on the walls. Also super rare, but worth knowing. Then I did suffer a couple of hard crashes, always in the same spot. It turns out it is a bug in the game. It's an optional room. It won't impact everyone, but Devolver, they're already working on a patch that should arrive in the next couple of days. So overall, Disc Room was what I expected in its core, an ultra challenging dodge-a-thon as you run around trying to hold on to that precious life of yours. What I didn't expect though was, as I said, the brain power it required, using these power-ups as they're introduced, puzzles that perplexed me, and just all the challenges and freedom in the options for the challenge the game, offers. Now though, I want to go back. I want to face some of these challenges. I want to go after that 15-minute run one, because to me that sounds like an absolute badge of honor that only a few individuals out there will achieve, and that's exciting when you mix in the leaderboards that you can share with your friends. These are the moments when you wish the Switch had true dedicated achievements. So graphically it's simple but does what it needs to, presenting a hand-drawn image. It keeps things fresh by having biomes for these different rooms. You know, the entry, the first few rooms are going to be metallic and cold as you kind of expect from space. Soon though you'll find yourself in like a jungle setting, even then incredibly challenging set of levels that are full on like pitch black. The animations overall are simplistic, but there's only so much you can do with saws flying all over the shop, so it delivers there too. The story elements then, they match this image style with a comic book presentation. Didn't really make too much sense to me honestly, but they mirror that same hand-drawn aesthetic and that's really all you need. It kind of adds a little bit of character, I guess. No complaints, does what it needs to, but it's not going to blow you away at the same time. So audio then, and there's very little to it all. Expect the saw sounds themselves, obviously they're flying through the air like anything. A nice splat sound representing death, and you're going to hear that one a lot. And then the soundtrack, gotta say this thing is badass. Sadly I can't find it online just yet, but I'm sure it will find its way to like Bandcamp and YouTube soon. But when it does, listen to it, as it's got this like great heavy electronic vibe to it. The first thought that comes to mind for me, for some reason, it was like a 9 Inch Nails, you know, not in sound but almost attitude, I guess. It just captures how raw all this gameplay is. Great work on the sound front, and I will for sure be picking this soundtrack up. So overall, Disc Room was a great time. I love how Hard as Nails, just one more go experience, and that's for sure what they deliver here. But again, I do want to reassure you, those accessibility options, it doesn't matter what skill level you are, you can find a playable game here. It's seriously impressive. While it won't take you too long to figure out like how to unlock all the rooms, I was more mentally exhausted than I ever imagined I would be, as I not only survived, but matched like power-ups to rooms and solved some like seriously unique puzzle moments. Today, with that in mind, I'm giving Disc Room a great 8 out of 10, and the team behind this, they are proving to be a force to be reckoned with. Minute Then This and countless other titles under their belts individually, I can't wait to see where they go next, because I'm happy to say I'm an absolute believer in their work. With that, a shout out to the patrons of the channel who are just going above and beyond to support SwitchCorner. Helps more than you know, so thank you all so much. If you do want to check it out for yourself, I have linked it in the video description down below. Then hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here. Join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.